So there is a lot of stuff going on right now with the Resident Evil IP. There have been numerous new rumors. We are not apparently going to see a Resident Evil 9 announcement at the next PlayStation event. Apparently, there is no Resident Evil 5 remake now in development. Instead, there is a Resident Evil Code Veronica remake and a Resident Evil 0 remake in development. A lot of wild stuff. We're going to talk all about that in today's video though, so sit back, relax, enjoy, take a beverage, and let's get on with this news. So a very big friend of the channel, Dusk Golem, has come out with a lot of new information towards Resident Evil, and I will say it has been very weird over the past 24 hours, because at first he was so very sure that there was a Resident Evil 9 announcement, but all of a sudden the plans have been changed apparently, and there has been a slight delay with the game. And I know this all sounds very weird, but the thing is, Dusk Golem has been correct a lot of times when it comes towards horror stuff. I'm taking his word for now still from what he is saying. By the way, if you have a good comment of your own, it can be about anything. Are you still hyped for Resident Evil? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I might feature your comment in the next video. Now, Dusk Golem has been really going on a ramble on Twitter, X, and the very interesting thing about these rumors is that multiple other insiders and video game journalist websites like IGN are actually corroborating with this information. So that's why this also very much piqued my interest. F I'm choosing to be the one to burst the bubble in a bigger way of what's going on with Resident Evil stuff. First, I would wipe the expectations of Resident Evil 9 being announced this summer period. The initial murmurs I heard I now do believe are right, and Resident Evil 9's announcement is further away than this upcoming summer. Sorry for the back and forth on that, that's my fault. Resident Evil 1 remake rumors are bullshit. As far as I know, Resident Evil 1 is not in any form in development at all right now. Resident Evil 5 is not actively in development now either. It's been funny seeing this. This is very weird. Thing is, Resident Evil 1 not being in development right now, I've already covered that, I believe, actually in a previous video. But I was very much of the suspicion that Capcom would do Resident Evil 5 after 4, because they teased that in the remake. They teased scenes if you finish Resident Evil 4 remake of Resident Evil 5, and now them not doing Resident Evil 5 at the moment at all is very strange in my opinion, but yeah, that seems to be happening right now. So no Resident Evil 5 remake in the near future. Resident Evil 9 is pushed back to late 2025 and 2026 if everything I've heard is correct, which I fully believe it is. And I know others have hinted this, and I'm not the first to say this publicly. Actually, just it's not caught on. There is actually a remake of Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica in development right now. I've talked to many others behind the scenes about this at this point. It's something I heard over a year ago. I think it was going to get out whether I was the one to say it or not, and that's about it. Now, Dusk Golem actually said 2 years ago that there was no Code Veronica in development, so that seems to have changed, and that's something he said later because someone asked him that as well. Also, he talked about the fact that there were 5 games in development right now, and someone asked about that as well. These 3 being in development doesn't mean there are only 3 in development, just the only 3 I'm choosing to publicly talk about. The 5 titles thing I'm not flip-flopping on at all, just not talking about here. Only flip-flopping thing from me is the Resident Evil 9 reveal or not. Also, someone is asking who's behind the remakes for 0 and Code Veronica. From what I've heard, 0 is primarily being led by K2 and M2, who most recently did Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4, were a support studio on Resident Evil 4. Code Veronica is Capcom Dev 1 with a lot of the same people who worked on Resident Evil 2 and 4 though. That's very good news to hear, because I think Code Veronica needs like a proper remake in the style of 2 and 4's production quality, so that the main dev team is on that is probably a very good thing. I think they might want to make Code Veronica also a bit ambitious because of that, but we shall see. That's just speculation on my part. Code Veronica got greenlit in late 2022, so when I said this, it wasn't at the cards at the time. Now, it's very sad that we aren't going to see Resident Evil 9 getting announced now at the upcoming PlayStation event, but if it is indeed true that Resident Evil 9 is a fall 2025 game, early 2026, then it wouldn't surprise me that we aren't going to see an announcement. They probably then, of course, want to wait maybe until early 2025 or maybe late. There's still a chance 2024 that we see the promotional cycle begin for that game. Maybe now is a bit too early for that. So I do think it makes sense that we don't see Resident Evil 9 if that it's true that there is in fact an internal delay. What's very interesting about all these rumors is that two sources, other publicly gaming industry giants like IGN and VGC, actually collaborate this information. Just recently, IGN put out an article that yes, Code Veronica and Zero remakes are in development following the enormous success of Resident Evil 2, 3 and 4 remakes. Capcom has turned its attention to remakes of Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica. IGN can corroborate that 0 and Code Veronica are the next two Resident Evil remakes scheduled to release. That is very interesting that IGN can actually corroborate that, but not just IGN, also VGC. And when there are multiple insiders corroborating information, that's when it's like there is smoke, there's actually something there. Andy Robertson from VGC tweeted out simply, "Listen to this man." And Andy Robertson has been also correct many times in the past on stuff. I remember his stuff from Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, that he was talking about that before it was revealed. I covered that in videos as well, and he was spot on with the existence of the remake for Metal Gear Solid 3. Both VGC and IGN basically corroborating this information is pretty interesting. So yeah, a Code Veronica remake in development and a Resident Evil 0 remake in development, but no Resident Evil 5 for some reason. Maybe Capcom also just wants to take a longer time about thinking what 5 can be and 6, because 5 and 6 are more controversial, shall I say, in the Resident Evil fandom. So maybe that's also why they want to take a little bit longer with those games. Maybe they want to change the story up in some way, more drastically. Now, if we could just get news of Pragmata, that would just be very amazing. Capcom, I'm still waiting for that. Hurry up, please. Announcements of Zero and Code Veronica, I think it's just a bit too early for that. I think we will see Resident Evil 9 still first, and that will just be next year. So I think for this year we won't just see any Resident Evil for now. Maybe we see a teaser for Code Veronica and Zero, and then basically just saying, yeah, it's in development. And then the next thing we see is actually 9 first, and then after that Code Veronica and Zero. But we shall see, because I have a feeling 9 is still first in the pipeline. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of these rumors and information. Now, I'm also thinking about making a video for Dragon Quest 3. If you guys are interested about that, about the remake, there's some news for that. Let me know also in the comment section down below if you want to see me cover that as well. Thank you guys for watching. As always, like this video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gaming news, leaks, rumors towards the biggest single player games. I do every gameplay PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, it doesn't care about which platform. I cover every platform. As long as there are big single-player games, I will make videos for them. Thank you guys for watching, as always. I love you all. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.